Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to have you all here with me in the Meet Your Mentor podcast. If you're coming back for another episode, then welcome. For those of you who are first-time listeners and don't know much about the Mentor Project, we are an organization that is dedicated to passing knowledge, culture, values, and so many other things to help mentor people in fields they may be interested in. All of our initiatives are free of charge as we believe everyone should have access to these things. As for me, my name is Elise, and I will be your host for today. I just completed my sophomore year, so I'm officially a junior in high school, and I'm obviously here interning at the Mentor Project, which gives me the chance to talk to so many incredible people. In terms of this podcast, each week I will be interviewing one of our world-renowned mentors and asking about their job, some advice they have, what it means to be a mentor, and so much more. Quick shout out to our listeners and our sponsors for making this podcast possible. Now, I think you guys will love what we have in store for you. The mentor I can't wait to introduce you to today is Jen Snow. Lieutenant Colonel Jen works with the U.S. Special Operations Command Futures Plans and Strategy Division, and she does technology outreach to improve collaboration and communication between the government and technology communities, which I would love to hear more about, seeing as that could entail lots of different things. Jen is also the CTO of the Mentor Project, which means that she develops policies at the Mentor Project surrounding technology implementation, partnership opportunities, and talent recruitment. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into both of these roles, but I figured Jen can tell you more about it. Without further ado, let me introduce you all to Jen Snow.
Elise, thank you so much for hosting me. Really delighted to be here. And just a quick update too, I moved from Special Operations Command over to the Air Force. So I'm now the Chief Technology Officer for AFWERX, which is the innovation wing of the United States Air Force.
Oh, wow.
It's another awesome job using technology for good to make a positive difference globally. So I'm just excited to be there. But yeah, thanks for hosting me today.
Yeah, of course. So can you talk a little bit more about that and like what it's some of, I guess, the specifics about technology outreach?
Oh my gosh, definitely. So this is something that I've been really passionate about for a long time. I speak government and I speak geek. So I act as a universal translator in many cases between the two for our government customers, but then also our private sector customers. And the role that I play is really to facilitate bringing people with wicked problems together with people with awesome solutions. So I work across 37 different tech sectors today, and that, any given day I might be doing something involving space, or additive manufacturing, human performance, high performance computing, quantum. Most recently, I've had a mix of green tech and clean tech. So we've been talking about how to power the base of the future. So what does it look like when we begin to harness wind energy, solar energy, geothermal, water, and use that to power our bases instead of traditional coal or oil? Those are sustainable energies that we're looking at as a way to hybridize many of our bases. And this came about because we had a Category 5 hurricane hit one of our Air Force bases in Florida, completely wipe it out, and we decided to build it back better. So in order to do that, we wanted to look at these clean technologies and really be thoughtful about what the base of the future might look like, even to include 3D printing facilities. We're working with some companies that have 3D printed homes in other countries or 3D printing homes here. And you can 3D print a home that's about 2,500 square feet using your cell phone, 2 people, and a cement rigged robotics setup. And it's beautiful. And it's environmentally friendly. And at the same time, you can build them so they withstand hurricanes and other natural disasters that normally would wipe them out. So that's just one aspect. I also work really closely with our airmen. So many of our airmen will come forward and say, hey, we have this idea because we have a challenge that we're experiencing in the field or in our workplace, but we need resources or we need the right technology partners to come alongside of us and help us build it out. And that's our Spark initiative. So the bright ideas that our airmen bring forward, in this case, they identify the problem and then we help them to solve it. And those solutions go right back into the Air Force and sometimes the entire Defense Department to benefit everybody, which is super fun. And then we're getting ready. Our latest initiative is SpaceWorks, which will be focused specifically on space technologies and how to leverage space technologies for the future space economy that's developing.
Wow. That sounds like an absolutely incredible job.
It's awesome.
It's kind of cool that you've got like a little bit of everything, you know. Yeah, that's just very interesting. So, if you don't mind me asking, like, how did you get started in this role and know that this was something that you wanted to do?
Well, it's kind of a strange and winding path. I wanted to be a biologist, and I went to school for biology and environmental science. I was actually with Fish and Wildlife Service for 5 years as a park ranger and wildland firefighter. And they sent me back for a bachelor's degree in political science with a minor in environmental policy. And so as I was doing that degree, I had to do a regional specialization. I didn't know anything about the Middle East. So I picked the Middle East. And one of the first papers I had to write was on this guy, Osama bin Laden, who I'd never heard about. And then we had the USS Cole bombing, we had 9/11 happen. And I really engaged around that space because I saw a lot of my friends and family, especially after 9/11, very concerned about what was happening. And I decided I wanted to learn more about how we could use technology to be proactive and preventative in the future, especially when it came to things like terrorism. That got me into the military, and I started out in counterproliferation. So my background was all in heavy technology, deep tech, and looking at ways to stop biochem, nuclear weapons, radiological weapons. What would it take to make sure that we were proactively preventing those types of attacks? And then that also tied into the work around counterterrorism. And then that turned into 14 years later, the job that I'm doing now, which is focused on innovation. And in this case, I love this particular field because innovation has so many benefits, and we're taking it much bigger than just the US government or the Defense Department. We're working with NATO, we're working with our allied partners, we're working with 38 of the top schools across the United States through the Academic Venture Exchange. We also have partnerships across the private sector with small businesses all the way up to the large global corporations that many people would recognize. None of this gets done without a collaborative effort. And so what we're finding is it's not a competitive space, it's very much a collaborative space. You have to have that diversity of perspective, and the right people need to be coming into these spaces with the right bright ideas to help us all win. So that's how I got into it. It's kind of that winding path, didn't expect it, but I'm so glad that I did. The Air Force has been fantastic. I've got to see and do things that I would not have had the opportunity to see or do, and they've been very, very gracious with my education and definitely allowing me to play around with some very cool technologies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds like it. So, seeing as you have all of these like various interests and various like expert areas of background, I guess I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
how have you like used that in? Well, okay, I guess I'm gonna take another route. My beginning question should be: obviously, you're working with a mentor project, but have you found yourself mentoring people through the Air Force as well and through this job?
Yeah, definitely. I've been a mentor and I've been a mentee. I've had some incredible people mentor me throughout my career, and I would attribute much of the success that I've had as a leader and a mentor to what they've shared with me. And I still have mentors today because it's so important. You have to have people that you can bounce ideas off of. You have to have people that you can go to that challenge you. I have mentors that are very much aligned with my values, ethics, and morals. But I also have some that are not, and they take the opposite side of the argument. And I'll go to them when I want to understand, somebody else's perspective, or have a discussion around a topic that maybe I'm not an expert on, but I want to make sure I understand it so I can critically think about it and figure out solutions that are going to be effective for everybody that's involved. As far as mentoring, since I came in as an officer, mentorship is a big deal in the Air Force. We really focus on providing mentors to everybody that wants one. We have a mentoring dashboard that people can actually reach out to us and say, hey, I saw your profile, you're in my area of expertise, I'd really love to sit down with you. Can you mentor me on my next assignment? Can you mentor me on my school choices? Can you mentor me on leadership in the workplace? Can you mentor me on a specific situation? And I've been delighted to do that because I learn as much from the people that I'm mentoring as I hope that they learn from me. So this has been something that's been valuable throughout my career, and it's definitely something that I'm excited to continue doing once I return next year with the Mentor Project.
Yeah, that sounds like an incredible opportunity, especially for those who need mentoring in their like specific project. Like, it's very cool that you have a whole kind of setup for that to begin with. But what is some of, I guess, potentially the best kind of general advice that you have used throughout your life that you got from a mentor?
Oh my gosh. There are a bunch of different ones. The one that jumps out to me first is listen more than you talk. The most successful conversations, engagements, projects, I've always gone in, I do my brief introduction of who I am, and then I sit back and listen, because you can learn so much from the room by listening and what's going on. The same thing, anytime I came in as a commander for a new unit, they often would give you a separate office. And my team was always shocked, because I would leave the office and move all of my stuff out onto a desk in the main floor and sit with them. And often it would make them a little uncomfortable at first. But what happened was eventually they forgot I was there, and I would hear everything that's going on. What are they worried about? What are they excited for? Where are they experiencing challenges? And it allowed me as a leader to be really focused on how to best care for my people and how to best enable them. And a leader's job is really to understand and provide that mission and vision to your team, but then to provide the top cover so they can do what they need to get done. And in many cases, that means, you're the one getting the roadblocks out of the way, or you're the one that's stepping in a difficult situation. You're taking responsibility for that. You're being accountable for it, and you're letting them do what they need to do to be successful. So it's been a fun journey. I'm really excited to continue this too.
Yeah, I love that viewpoint that you kind of have on leadership. I feel like it's just kind of a unique one that I haven't heard of too much, but it definitely is one that makes a lot of sense. So I just really like that. That was really interesting to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. So obviously you're CTO of the Mentor Project. So I was wondering if you could kind of switch gears a little bit and talk more about that and just how you came across the Mentor Project.
Oh, definitely. So I actually met Debbie through Bill Cheswick and Bob Cousins. I knew Bill and Bob because they had been teaming up with us on the government side around some cybersecurity initiatives. And I also am part of several of the groups. They've got some list servers around technology and several groups that are around ethical hacking that I'm part of. And I remember Bob said, well, you've got to meet Debbie. She's doing this program, the Mentor Project, and my schedule is usually pretty busy. And so I said, oh, okay, I'd love to meet her. This went on for about a year. And we got connected, and she told me what she was building. And I said, oh my gosh, I have to be part of this. And so, Debbie's absolutely amazing. And what she's put together for the Mentor Project has the ability to empower and uplift so many people globally. So by establishing a mentoring network where you also have a youth entrepreneurial network where young people that are interested in technology, interested in social impact, interested in making a difference, they have their first international network, and they're meeting through hackathons and other events that we're hosting. Those people, those peers now can grow with them. And so if they're trying to do something that's transnational or global, they have a group of people that they already know that they can reach out to and say, hey, what do you think about this? And that's really important, because for the first time, they're empowered to make a difference. They have mentors that are backing them up, that are helping them to achieve their goals. And they also have contacts around the world that understand the unique challenges in each and every nation that they're relating to and how to overcome those in a positive way. The power of the Mentor Project is such that you have people with bright ideas that are coming forward that need just a little bit of mentoring and a little bit of access to the right bright minds here and there to help them figure out how to move forward. Sometimes that might be along the lines of, hey, I need to understand, how does this technology work in space? Or I need to understand, how do I code this particular app? We have the mentors that can help them to do that and to really launch their ideas in such a way that it goes from concept to actual, like an actual fully being project, a prototype, a project that can do what they want it to do. And when you see that, and especially when you're young and you see that, you realize, hey, all these people that are telling me I have to do this or I have to do that, or they're trying to limit me, or they're telling me, oh, that's a terrible idea. I was just empowered to take that idea and to take my vision and show that, in fact, it can work.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something that doesn't work, you've still learned, because that means that, hey, we validated that this technology is not useful for this specific scenario, this specific problem. Now we can go on to the next technology, or what's the next solution? We have the right mentors to come together with our youth mentees to help them develop that forward. That kind of decentralized network, that power of the knowledge and the data that's coming into this space, that will change lives. And that's what we involve with the Mentor Project. That's what's so exciting, is bringing these bright minds together to form that collaborative ecosystem that really does have the potential to change the world.
Mm-hmm. As obviously a young person myself, I think that's really important, just to see the fact that young people can make change and can have an impact. And I think it's been a lot better in recent years, and people are kind of realizing that. But obviously, growing up, there were a lot of people, and they're like, oh, you're young, like you have to wait until you're older to be able to do this or whatever. And I just think it's really important to know that, like, that's not true, you know? And I've kind of come into that realization over the past few years, which has been nice.
I would tell anybody that has a bright idea that they feel can solve a problem, it doesn't matter what your age is, go for it. There are always going to be a lot of people that will tell you, you can't do this, or this is why it won't work, or find out for yourself. Everybody has a different perspective. That perspective might be accurate for where they are in life's journey, but it might not be true for you. Mm-hmm. So if you have a bright idea, go for it, and don't let anybody limit you. That's what I would say to all of our bright young minds out there, all of the young people that see that they have a goal and they want to be impactful. Go for it. Don't let anybody stop you.
With this idea in mind, obviously the Mentor Project hasn't been around for a very long period of time. So I kind of wanted to know, what did the Mentor Project look like when you first started, and how has this idea and other things like changed it?
Yeah, and sorry for the snoring. I have a pug right in my seat. She's a little noisy.
Oh, it's okay.
So when I first came on board, this was 2019, and there were 10 people. We now have over 80 mentors and over 61,000 students globally.
Wow.
Yearly with nations in Africa, so Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria. We were talking to Burkina Faso. There are opportunities to go into Ethiopia. We also have been talking to Israel and Ireland. They're interested in coming on board. We just, a dear friend of mine who's the senior cartoonist at the Charles Schulz Foundation, Justin Thompson, fantastic. We told him about our work, and he said, I want to volunteer and an ambassador for cartooning. And we were talking with him, and he's done a lot of work in Japan. He's done a lot of work in Cuba. And so each one of our mentors has a specific cultural understanding, backgrounds in different parts of the world, and they're pulling in these different nations. So we've got our first students from Siberia. They just participated in a hackathon. Argentina, we've talked with a center in Mexico now that's interesting. And we've also got people across the United States, schools that are growing around the US that are reaching out to us and saying, hey, we love what you're doing. We'd love access to your mentors. Can we please be part of what you're building? It's been so cool to watch this. And the fact that all of our mentors are coming around the Mentor Project organically. And this is a project that's been in existence for almost 3 years, no budget. We haven't done any fundraising to this point. And we're getting ready to, so we can start funding some of the kids' projects. But prior to this, we didn't need to, because everybody was coming as they were and offering their expertise and their support to any of the students that want to be part of it. We have a waiting list of mentors that want to be vetted to come on board, which is super exciting, and just some incredible people that are going to be part of this and giving back across STEAM. I mean, you've got all of the areas captured now. So any student that comes to us, or any school or educator that comes to us and says, we want to be part of what you're building, they can do it, and it's at no charge to them. And that's what I love. So to go from 10 people and a few schools in New York and the United States to 61,000 students globally. Oh, Cambodia is coming on board thanks to Matt Coleman and his team. It's amazing. It's amazing to see all of these people connecting and sharing ideas. That's the best part. I love this because when you're connecting with people at that grassroots level, you're really understanding the importance of the challenges that they're facing. And you also find out that regardless of where we live and what we're dealing with around the world, we're all humans first. And we all share a lot of the same goals, dreams, challenges. We can help each other out. That's been the biggest passion of mine, is how do we connect more people so that the people with resources and the people that maybe don't have the resources can balance each other out and really make that positive difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the Mentor Project. I feel like it's so rare to find something that is so like widespread, but yet it's such a like tight-knit community almost.
Very much.
Amazing.
Very much. Yeah, and at least that's such an important point too. We've been really selective about the mentors that we've brought in. I mean, the screening process is pretty tough, and it's for a reason. We want to make sure that we're maintaining that high caliber, high quality of mentor. And the people that are coming in are really focused on making a difference and giving back for all of our students and our mentees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So I want to, once again, shift gears a little bit to talk about just the Mentor Project on a more personal level for you. So what does it mean to you to be a mentor and to be able to help make this impact?
That's a deep question. For me, because growing up, I had a lot of mentors in science and technology, and my parents were not science and technology people. I mean, my mom never graduated 7th grade. My dad was a school psychologist. This was really something that spoke to me because many of the opportunities that I've had in my life would not have happened without the mentors that played a part to move me forward. And I feel part of me, I want to give back, and then I also feel obligated to give back. And let me explain that. The obligation is that I've been given so much by so many, and that's led to the success that I'm seeing in my life, that I want to pay that back or pay it forward to help others. And at the same time, I love mentoring. I love meeting new people. I love learning about what are they passionate about, what are their dreams and goals and aspirations, and then figuring out how can I use my network of smart people and connected people to help connect them to achieve those goals and to achieve those dreams. I get more satisfaction out of connecting people and getting out of the way. And then a few months later, I get an email saying, oh my gosh, we did it. We got this project accomplished. You know, somebody got this graduate degree, got into this program, got a scholarship. Somebody else started this new business. Somebody else just became, you know, a new entrepreneur with this fund and got the backing. That my day, that's what fuels me every day. And that's why I do this. So for me, the Mentor Project is really about living my passion. It's about being part of something bigger, giving back. And then really my truth is, how can I take what I've learned and leave that legacy to help others or to uplift others?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wonderful. I love that. My last question for you is just if there's anyone listening or watching who really enjoys what you're saying and wants to reach out, what is the best way to contact you?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm not on social media because I get so busy, and then I really just focus on the innovation piece. So if you look for JJ Snow on LinkedIn, that's the best way to find me. or it's just jsnow@thementorproject.org for my email. And feel free to reach out and contact me. I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time. If you think I can help you, if you've got a project that you're interested in pursuing, or even if you just want to talk about finding the right mentor, or you think I might be the right mentor, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad that we could find time to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you, Elise. And thanks for doing the best podcast. We could not make it happen without you. So really, really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You had amazing advice and knowledge to share with us. So I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who's listening as well. I hope you all thought that was fun and, learned as much as I did. If you wanted to learn more about Jen, you can go to the places that she mentioned. If you want to learn more about the Mentor Project itself, you can go to mentorproject.org to learn more about us. I hope to see you all back here next week. And lastly, just thank you so much to our listeners and our sponsors for making this podcast possible. We appreciate everything you do.